Can we please talk about just how much of a badass Kazuma pulled the ever-living fuck in this episode? Like, look, I criticized the hell out of him last episode because what he did has consequences. And I'm glad that it had consequences. Because obviously, who the hell would do that? But obviously, he's stupid. So we can only give him so much leeway before we have to question his sanity. But I will say, him being a thief suits him even better than him being an adventurer, unironically. To have quite the duo chemistry. And I don't mean romantic, I mean they both can work with each other's strengths. Because Kazuma has the highest luck. And it's kind of funny because even that luck completely ran out whenever he challenged Chris to a rock, paper, scissors. Because let's remember, Aqua failed, and she even boosted her luck status, and she still failed. And yet Chris pulled out the Uno reverse card on him, and he took it like a champ. He accepted, okay, I lost, so I'm the assistant. And yet he showed himself to be just as capable as ever. Before we go into any of the big parts of this episode, let's backtrack to the beginning. They both swap. Kazuma realizes he's about to get his ass whooped, which I am happy for. Not because of what he was trying to do with Eris's body, but because I don't want her experiencing a literal beatdown from, randos, because that would completely shatter her innocent mind. Granted, I would assume she'd be very unhappy with what Kazuma was doing, but I feel like a part of her would feel bad because she just left Kazuma to get his ass whooped. And it's all Megumin's fault. But after that, the whole party is going. Obviously, this one is extremely pissed with him and almost would kill him if given the chance. And then we have the talk between Chris and Kazuma. Chris explaining that, no one knows, but if they were to know, and the conditions are this. For the swap, there's a temporary if neither are gonna die or something like that. However, if one of the bodies dies, then it's a permanent switch. And that is dangerous. That alone can cause so many issues with obviously the nobles wanting something like that. It makes sense why that alone is dangerous. But if I recall, the brother had something like that. I almost think that there's something connected there, but that's speculation. I will say, Kazuma understanding this problem goes to help with Chris, and they have their little dispute with obviously them getting caught because obviously the uncomfortability of what Kazuma's trying to do, whether intentional or not, does get him caught. And then we have an action scenario where we have Kazuma and Chris working together, trying to get to the princess's room, where, they take on a few guards and all, sort of, up until a point where Kazuma kind of just lets go and becomes like a genuine thief master, because he shows his skill, being able to finally best Claire. He basically shows off Drain Touch, and he looks so badass, especially with how confident he is after just beating her and just starts knocking down guard after guard. And as I said, my respect to Kazuma was already good enough. It did dumb down because of last episode's shenanigans, but it skyrocketed again because who the hell would have thought he is this capable? He is capable. I have never been against his capabilities, but this is a different kind of capability. I can't help but imagine him being a villain, because it would work. He genuinely could be a very annoying villain. Maybe not top tier powerful villain, but a definitely annoying one. But that's besides the point. We have obviously the impetuous hero come in, and look, the first time these two faced each other, Kazuma caught him off guard because he had to. And he just stealed and knocked them down. And guess what happens in their rematch, in a sense? Kazuma using literal skills to outbest him. And I mean, he did beat him. He had to get help. The hero had to get help in order to come back later on. But this was very impressive. And then Kazuma and Chris go, just as they get to the princess's room. Oh no, Darkness is there, and Megumin and Aqua, but mainly Darkness. And she's ready to throw hands until she realizes who the hell are the thieves. Because I almost can guess that Megumin could know who it is. Maybe. Aqua's too stupid to know, honestly. But Darkness definitely knows. And it shows later on in the episode, which we'll get to. But yeah, she lets herself get beaten. Obviously, they're surrounded, so Kazuma and Chris has to basically give it their all to combine steal to make sure that at least someone is able to steal something. The little divine treasure. And then they manage to escape. So, after this, they have the whole talk with the princess and all the royals. They obviously give Kazuma shit, which, by the way, I'd like to defend my boy here, Kazuma, because you were so annoyed that he couldn't catch the thieves. And he was alone, quote unquote. And you, with all the army, all the guards, still lost. So no disrespect to this one, because it was just a 1-on-2. You had a 2-on, like, 100, and you all still lost and failed. So I don't want to hear it clear. Anyway, sorry, I had to go on that tangent. But, yes. The princess kind of just says she's a fan of the thieves. Eventually, it is kind of revealed at the end of the episode that, yeah, she basically knew Kazuma was one of the thieves. And was alluding that, yeah, she's a fan of what Kazuma can do. Because Kazuma was so badass to have managed to pull off that she respects him. But anyway, yes, Darkness does punish. I may have jumped ahead, but Darkness just punishes both Chris and Kazuma for basically coming in and stealing. Because you can see she is pissed off at both of them. But she is way more pissed with Chris because Kazuma, she knows he wouldn't necessarily do that unless goaded. But she's still mad that he even did it. And obviously she's more mad with Chris because she knows it would have been her who orchestrated all of this. But it does reveal that they had to steal the divine treasure. It's dangerous. And also revealed that Kazuma stole the princess's ring. Which, unfortunately, it is the biggest no-no he shouldn't have done. But because he did that, he can not lose that ring under no circumstances. As well as no one can know he has it. Because there's a secret with this ring. No, it's not Sauron's ring. It's not like a ring of power that'll give anyone such overpowered menace. Though that kind of would be ironically funny if they give Kazuma some kind of power boost like that. This ring basically means that it can only be removed through when the princess has been betrothed and given to that person. Essentially, marriage. As if Kazuma needs to be thrown into some stupid shit like that. So, let's backtrack to the throne room where, yes, he is so happy with what the princess was saying positive things about his other persona, where he was gonna reveal it, the fucking moron. And then obviously, I think the princess even knew that and had to change it so that way Kazuma can kind of not do something stupid and get himself fucking killed again. So yes, we have them eventually head off. Darkness, I believe, only said the words to give encouragement to Kazuma, to the princess, because she was going to request something. But Darkness, obviously, it looked like it was going to be something bad, because obviously what happened at the beginning of the episode. But Darkness shows her respects to Kazuma by clearly saying all these good things about him, admiring what Kazuma is, and saying that he's going to be the one to defeat the Devil King. So the princess says that her request, aside from fanboying over Kazuma, and then her and Megumin having some kind of fight per se, like I can't help but see that Megumin is just jealous at how clingy the princess has gotten to Kazuma. Like that's suspicious, Megumin. As well as the fun fact that Megumin only failed during the raid because she was so admired by Kazuma's dark look, and that kind of fanboyish attitude cost her from doing anything. But yeah, obviously Megumin is not happy and argues with the princess, which is honestly funny. But yes, the princess basically says that Kazuma can return so they can finish their game because it was not settled. Essentially boiled down to please come back at any time. And at the end of the episode, yes, Kazuma's all depressed as hell and everything. He wanted to live the dream. And he obviously looks at the ring, which does come back to the fact that the princess and her bodyguards there, like, they realize they fucked up. They lost the ring. And the princess kind of forgives them. And then drops a big bombshell that, yeah, she knew that Kazuma had the ring. And is hoping that he's the one to win it. Because the ring has a certain rule associated with it, which is basically what we learned. But it's also that whoever beats the Devil King award is to take the princess as their bride. So essentially, yes, the princess wants Kazuma. It's funny because Darkness chastised Kazuma about it wouldn't take a week to make someone fall in love with him, which I can't help but think about Subaru in this thing too, because of what his situation usually stems from. But Kazuma pulled it off. He genuinely did pull it off. And I'm not going to make a comment. I'll just say this. Dude managed to do something that is probably not what his intentions were. Because he definitely enjoys spoiling Aries as a little sister. It's just, he managed to pull something like that off. It is impressive in a vacuum. However, I think we need to go into the more important part that Kazuma has the ring. And unfortunately for him, that's a problem. I feel like that's going to come up. But for now, we have ended, for sure, anything related to the princess for now. I feel like we've gone and past this. And Kazuma, as I said, has earned my respects. The dude knows how to fight. And my God, he is probably pretty badass for now. So, oh my gosh. So much excitement this episode came from. Just a simple episode that really did cause a big turnover for a lot of things. But overall, 10 out of fucking 10.